Hey everyone, welcome back. BetSperts Golf. This is it. This is our final stop of the 2023 season, the end of the FedEx Fall Series. Just like a one and done thing, I guess, maybe. I don't know. It's Andy. What's going on, buddy? How we doing?
Yeah, there's a little bit more golf, but I mean, it's like the event where the PGA teams up with the LPGA, and it's a little weird. That's I think a 3-round goofy format where they do some scrambles and best ball, better ball. So really, the last real tournament. I know we have some other other tours are still going, but
yeah, well, this is the official last PGA event. This is the end of like the top 125 for FedEx Cup points. So yeah, there are some other different events for sure, but this is an official end technically to the season.
Yeah, the guys who are looking to get in, get their card for the next year. If you finish in the top 125, you get that. If you finish in the top, so the 50 through 61 or something like 51 through 60 makes a lot more sense. I think you get into some of the designated events. So there are things to play for some of these guys, and I think that's maybe why we have a nice enough field here. It's better than last week. Not a great field, but there's some top 50 players. You have all the Georgia guys. I think it's just a nice place to be too. Like it's a pretty scenic area. The whole Sea Island area there. So, and a ton, like 8 or 10 PGA golfers legitimately just live there year round. So I think a lot of them probably would feel bad if they took the call from, the organizers, like, I just can't make it. Like we can see you. Like you're down the street. I can see your cars in the driveway. You're clearly home, Harris. You need to come play. So,
yeah.
But yeah, not one I'm super excited to bet on, and kind of like last week, just going to take some shots because that's what we've been given here for basically the entire tournament's history. Is like bombs. Long shots win this. None of the guys who actually live there have done good, like ever.
Yeah, I mean they've done good, but they haven't won.
No, I mean, to be fair, some of them are good golfers who've had, good results over the years. Just none of them have won the tournament.
Yeah. And nice area. I mean, I know you were vacationing down there not so long ago. I've golfed in this area the last couple of years in the spring, and we'll be, I think, doing it again in March. So yeah, it's a gorgeous place to be. I understand why people would want to call it home, especially since, you can golf pretty much year round. Look at us, we're in the Midwest. Although I might golf today. It's like 60 here. My locals got like a really cheap 9. I'm probably up against it from a daylight time situation, but like, I don't know, mid-November golf in Chicago. I'm pretty excited. I think I'm going to get out today. So
yeah, it's similar here. It's just too windy. It's the wind kicks up and 60 suddenly feels like 40. But
I just haven't been able to play for a while, and I know they're going to be put away for the winter until this golf trip that I'm talking about. So like, I'd love to get just to get out there, knowing that it's the last time. It always feels pretty good. So
you brought up an interesting point too about the daylight. You are up against the daylight here, where it's November. Days are getting shorter, such as the way of the world in the northern hemisphere, and that is. That's the reason why we see what they do at the Amex and the Pebble Beach. And like, this is the reason they use multiple courses. It's hard. I mean, just go look at last week and the week before. Even, weeks ago, we had trouble getting entire rounds in before dark. So splitting them up on Friday and Thursday. Not sure why I said those 2 days in that order, but splitting them up in round 1 and 2. So you only have about 78 guys per course. It lends itself to getting those rounds in, getting it done, not having to deal with a Saturday morning where you're bringing a bunch of guys back to decide the cut line. So we shouldn't have to deal with that. That said, it's a pain in the ass because you don't get the shot link. You have a different course to deal with. They're both very easy courses. Obviously, we'll focus in on the one that people will be playing thrice, but everybody still does have to go play, the other course once during either Thursday or Friday. So Seaside, it's called the Seaside and the Plantation courses.
Yeah, so it's
71
to
72.
a unique like betting opportunity, maybe if you're looking to add live, or if you're like playing DFS and showdown and stuff like that, you want to take a look there. We don't, like Andy said, we don't have shot link data on Plantation, but it is easier. And like in Seaside is easy, but like Plantation is like a quarter to almost a third stroke easier per round. So if you don't go low there, that becomes problematic. Also, like if you happen to like nuke round one and you're like the leader and you played on Seaside and you still have round two to go on Plantation, that probably bodes pretty well for you, considering again, like they're both easy, but not a drastic split like sometimes we see in some other early California events like you mentioned there, where there's some more drastic splits in terms of
we have like a 2 or 3 stroke difference between the two courses, and so it's like, well, or Monterey, where you have Monterey and you're dealing with what that's Pebble, Pebble, Spyglass, Monterey, and it's like, oh, you played the easy one, and it's clearly like playing 2.5 strokes easier than the other one. So no, not a massive difference, mostly because both are easy, both are sort of short, both huge fairways, not that penal rough. The rough is only going to be about 2 inches at the most. It's not a spot where you can get a lot of trouble missing the fairway in the rough, but you still could use the accuracy because there's a ton of water. There's, on Seaside, I think there's 10 different holes where you can find yourself in water or swamp. So you are going to see a lot of penalty strokes if guys are really spraying it. And because the distance isn't really needed here with the really short courses, you do see a lot of clubbing down, like driving accuracy off the tee, not always using a driver, is pretty high here. Not only because of the big fairways, but because it's short and people are able to just club down and say, like, I'm not going to deal with even risking a penalty stroke here. What's the difference between a 100-yard approach and a 70-yard approach? Like I'll take the sure thing and just hit a nice stinger. There can be a little wind here. Obviously the course you're going to play the most is, I believe I'm right on this, the Plantation course, which you only play once, is a little more inland, a little more of a parkland. The wind isn't going to affect you as much, but the other one, there is quite a bit of wind that can kick up. So kind of like last week, only defense is the wind. The greens are easier. They did redo it. The greens on Seaside are tougher now. There's a little bit more undulation. They're still big and easy to hit. So it's kind of like, don't hit it in the water. Be good at approach, real good proximity, and get hot with the putter. Same as anything in these swing season freaking putting contests, essentially. So it is going to be 17 to 22 under, I suppose, for a winner.
Yeah, I think Ron's preview had said something like the last 13 iterations had been at like at least 18 under or something like that. So like the wind can kick up, and even in those instances where it does, it's still not that problematic in terms of what we're looking at here, because you're, like you mentioned, forced layups. So you have a lot of people hitting from the same range, like a lot of under 200, on approach. So proximity more from like 100 to 175. You got to be able to score. These par fours are all pretty short. There are 12 par fours on Seaside. I believe 10 are 450 or shorter. So taking advantage of, those types of par fours. Yeah, everyone's going to make it birdie or take advantage of these par fives. Like you are massively losing strokes if you are walking away with a 5 on these par fives. So I think really honing in on who scores well on par fours and shorter par fours works really well too. And then, we have a handful of courses that are in the rotation every year that would essentially be Bermuda, coastal, that are basically short with easy scoring conditions. And you can use our customizable stat database to cut that up and really hone in on what else is popping in that range. I think there's some stickiness to kind of, honing in on that type of golfer. And you look at this, like leaderboards here in the past, like you see some overlap. And, when you have a spot where you've had, Robert Streb has won here twice. We have, Austin Cook is, wins here, is one here. Like some of these guys that show up and do really well here. It's, T-Dunks, just it brings into play a unique style of golfer guys that might not even be clubbing down, actually are just letting it rip off the tee because they can, because it's just, how their game is played. So yeah, it is a unique place. And I think that's why you get a good feel, is I think you see some of these guys are like, hey, my position is set, but I think I can go out and like win here comparatively to some of these other spots. Like, yeah, Harman is a Georgia guy. Henley's a Georgia guy. Connors, Denny, Harris English. These guys are all inside the top 40, but comparatively, like, we saw Harman won the Open Championship. Harris English has hasn't been really good for a couple of years, but has been good in the last couple of years at some point for stretches. Like, they're not in the field with Rahm and Rory and Vic, and right now they can go out and like, hey, a win's a win. Let me go out and get some paper here to, before the season really kicks up. I might as well go out and get a win. So I think that's why you see a pretty decent field.
You still get $1.5 million to win this.
That's a lot, Andy.
Like, you're talking about the motivation for some of the guys who want to get inside the top 125, some of the guys who want to get inside that top 60. Like, yeah, it's still a tour event. There's still a shitload of prize money, not relative to the players or a major, some of the elevated events, but $1.5 million is still a lot of money. It costs money to golf. It costs money, your coaching, all the expenses. Like, you're not just showing up to show up, even if you are the Sea Island Mafia guys that just have to walk down the street, get to sleep in their own bed kind of stuff. But yeah, it's still definitely a prize you want to take home. So I have not made a bet on this one yet.
I've not either.
Little light on guys I want to bet. Some guys are getting a lot of respect in the market. Obviously, we have Harman way up there, Cam Young way up there, and Ludwig. But Ludwig's game,
oh man,
maybe doesn't match up as well here. Where I'm not really looking for a guy who can just piss rope it off the tee, but
he can though, right? Like he can. So
can,
why not? Like that plays everywhere.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be a huge advantage. It never has been here.
Yeah. I think he's been so damn good, Andy. Look at the last run of golf. I mean, he's the top of the board. He's basically 14 across the board. He is your favorite. He has not been outside of the top 13 in his last 7 starts. Multiple top 5s, including a win in Europe, the Omega European Masters. You don't need to absolutely hit piss ropes off the tee, but I don't know where that plays poorly. Do you want to spend 14?
No, it's not going to like hurt him. I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't think
14 stuff.
I don't think his price is proper.
I think it's safe to say
he's very, very good.
Yeah, that's it, right? That's the takeaway. This kid is it. He is, the pedigree and the things that we saw coming in. And the reason we were kind of blindly backing him early, in like the 30s or 40s even, in full field PGA Tour events. Now, some of them are, not your elevated designated events, but still, like, this kid is the real deal, and he's going to be at 20. Hovering around like the high teens and, upper 20s all season, because I think that's kind of where he belongs, and showed it in the big stage at the Ryder Cup, and it just continued to be that dude. So yeah, we're going to have to pay, we're not getting, Orberg in the 40s. It's just not
a tiny aside here too. Is it just, I don't either. I'm just asking you, why is it just a lack of some of the data that you want that's keeping us from betting DP Tour more?
Yeah, data.
Because we're going to sit here and talk about like, hey, I'm thinking about putting in an Alex Smalley bet here this week, when we've legitimately got a tournament that has Rory, Rahm, Hovland, Hatton, Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood, Højgaard, Lowry, Højgaard, like Bobby Mack, Victor Perez. There's so many names in the World Championship. I'm gonna probably pay attention to that tournament. That'll be fun. But I'm just looking at the top of the board too. I'm not super interested in getting involved there, unless
let's talk about. We can talk about it.
I mean, Hovland's price is a little low for what I'd want to do. I'm a little interested in Nikolai at 28-1. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Rory, Rahm, Hovland, all below 6.
That's kind of what kept me off it.
Pinnacle's 640, which is that's tough. But again, like when you look down the rest of the field, right? There's a pretty massive, and you did a great job. Like you rattled off all the dudes, pretty like drastic, stark talent drop off here when we start to get into like the bottom and like middle of this field comparatively. Like, and again, it's not a big field.
Yeah, Piss Bear, Wallace.
Yeah.
Otegi, that's a big prize.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I ever have said his name right. Sebastian Soderbergh, famous director.
Yeah, Steven's nephew.
Connor Syme, Southgate. Yeah, a lot of the English guys too. But yeah, it's obviously a huge drop off. Lucas Herbert, 60-1.
Look, Andy, there's like 10 or 5 NFL double digit favorites this week.
Yeah,
you just throw Vic in there for a 6-legger. All of a sudden you got Hovland at 20 something, and you're feeling probably pretty good about yourself.
I don't hate this. Tommy Ladd and Minwoo Lee, top 20 part. Oh, he said, sorry, I meant top 10. Yeah, top 20s are going to pay a little shitty in a smallerish field like this, but I don't hate that. Minwoo Lee's, where is he sitting at? 18-1. Been playing some good golf. And then Tommy. If you want to bet on Tommy, I love betting on him to top 5, top 10, top 20, because ain't going to win. Ain't going to win.
Yeah. Sorry, it's all bet on Vic. I'll find a different way to bet on Vic. But yeah, I think data is a big piece of it. Course familiarity, all the data that goes into the course stuff. And again, having the tool that we have on BetSports Golf and being able to chop stuff up, I mean, that helps quite a bit. So, down the road, we're hoping to have maybe some World Tour stuff in there, and that'd be really helpful. But yeah, I mean, just the data piece. You could bet on feel. Betting outright winners in golf and on feel probably makes
sense. We're betting Vic on vibes.
I'll bet on Vic on vibes for sure.
All right, back to Georgia. Going to Georgia. RSM.
Yes.
We got
Oberg, Henley, Harman, Cam
13,
Young.
14-1, yeah.
Yeah, that's anything at the top here that's of interest to you. Like, so Henley's a guy that this is a Henley type of course. He's had some success in these type of events in the past, although not here, really, surprisingly. Has not been like particularly good here like you would think he has been. Let me see. It had a string of top 10s. The last of those was in 16. So, we haven't had anything where he's really competed here. A couple of missed cuts. Didn't play here last year. 22nd in 21 was our best recent Russell Henley. So that's hard for me to get to. And again, he just hasn't played a lot of golf. And as we've talked about all swing season, form for these guys is tricky because some of these guys haven't played since like the BMW, in August. So it's really tricky to think about their current form.
So again, I'm interested in Denny McCarthy. He's had some decent finishes here. He is a guy who could just gain 10 strokes with his putter, but he's like 35-40-1. Maybe that's not quite big enough. I'm close on Denny. I'm kind of I don't think I'm going to go with an archetype. Hey, I need a bunch of guys who have really good approach because obviously Denny's off the tee numbers aren't going to be as good as a lot of other guys, and obviously he's a really good around the greens putter, but not maybe the best putter in the field. Who do you think has the best putting numbers in the field?
Let me see. I mean,
over the last 24 rounds, it is Dylan Wu. Denny is second. The Postman is going to be up there. He's a good putter. Obviously, yeah. Harman has good putting numbers, especially I think on these greens. Mav McNeely. Now, there's a guy I'm not going to bet. I don't think that's a person. Although, geez, I shit talked Camilo Villegas last week, and look how that went. And that's where we need to be at. We just need to find the form guys, the guys who've had pretty good form over the course of these shit tournaments. It should just look like last 12 rounds, total strokes gained. Obviously, Villegas is right up there, even though in the last 12 rounds, he is, oh man, way down there in off the tee numbers. Just
off the tee has been rough. Approach has been great.
Strokes gained vibes, but one I have for you, Taylor Pendrith.
Okay.
It's somebody I've been looking at. And by looking at somebody I've been looking at, I mean over the last 5 seconds. Good finish, last 3 tournaments.
Okay.
You don't have a lot of shot link data, but 8th at Butterfield, 15th at WWT, 3rd at the Shriners a month ago. Just playing pretty decent golf. Has had good success in shitty fields. 6th at the Barbasol, 14th at the Rocket Mortgage. I'm going to look back and see if he's played this one before. 15th here last year. I think we might have my first bet. He is 48-1 at Chris. I'll see what else I can find for him. Probably about where it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to struggle to take anybody under like 30 here.
I'm kind of with you. I did make a model.
Let's see. Where's Penny?
Penny is not. He is not. Let me see where he is in the model. 31st. It's okay.
Do you have pricing up? Do you see? Is there a legal shop that has a better price than 48?
Let's see. No, 45s. 45s on all legals. 40 even out there as well. So yeah, 48's the best you're gonna get.
Bovida.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
On the Vegas Strip. Boda, Penn, DRI. Love and Control F. I gotta hit golf first, though. Yeah, that's probably about the best price. All right, Taylor Pendrith is an ad.
Like it.
It's a small game hunter.
Small game hunter.
Can take down some of these small tournaments like this. Is he Canadian?
He's a Canadian. He's a Canuck.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah.
48 is the best price I'm finding. So that'll be a bet. First bet. You want to put your model on screen, or do you want to just talk?
Yeah, let me see. Let's pop this bad boy up here. Producer Dan, you're all over it. Thank you. All right, so here's what I fed into the model here. And again, you can go to betsportsgolf.com. You can use promo code SWING50, SWING50. You're going to get $50 off of our annual subscription. It'll take you through the entirety of the next golf season. So you want to build models, you want to break some stuff out, you want to kind of get a sense of where on the betting board do I need to start looking. Building a model, I think, can really, really do that here. You're going to get all of our content as well, all of our actual betting picks that the staff is making. I think that's it's a great deal, probably the best deal we'll have all year. So check that out now, Swing50, betsportsgolf.com. So I'll go from the bottom here. So I'm looking here. Like I said, I think we have a pretty good amount of examples of this. I'm pulling from the last 3 years. I looked at strokes gained total on short, easy scoring conditions, short courses, easy scoring conditions that classify as coastal with Bermuda greens. Sometimes I feel like that would be overfitting, but we have, I think, a pretty good amount of examples of this. So that's what I did. On the top, the first thing I did, it says east, but that's actually easy as well. That's tee to green, so I'm taking the putting element out of that because I think that these things matter quite a bit. What do you got? You going to say something?
No, I'm just
then I'm looking at, like you said, I think recent. Hey, let's look at guys that have been dialed in on approach of late, like just real short-term form. So I have 12, 16 in the last 36 rounds of approach. And as I mentioned at the top, I think you have to take advantage of the par fours here. Everyone's taking advantage of the par fives. I don't want to overweight those. So I'm looking at your par four scoring average and your par four birdie or better for the last 36 rounds. And again, you can simply, you can save all your stuff. So if you look here, I have models for a ton of different courses. You can build off the tee specific models. You can build whatever you want. Things and just open them up and run them each week. Pretty easy to save all this and, go in and edit it, copy it, build a new one, all sorts of different ways that you can do it. You can hit here, save and generate. You can see here I've changed the weights for some of these. And here's what we spit out. We spit out Russell Henley on top, which makes a ton of sense.
He fits the shit out of this course.
He does.
Henley just
Callum Terry.
Knox? Is that Knox? I need to make the screen.
It is Knox. Yeah. So that's a challenge. Knox is but again, he finished well here last year. Eric Cole is going to get punished a little bit at times for his driving accuracy, but again, a spot where you're not super punished unless you find the water, unless you're super wayward. And the fact that you get a lot of like guys clubbing down here as well. I know, mentioning in the chat, like putting more weights on driving accuracy. I think sometimes that can be a little bit noisy. One of the stats I like here is distance to the edge of the fairway. I think that is impactful as well. Then just, I think naturally driving accuracy is a little bit noisy. We've talked about that in the past. So yeah, I think
I've been the guy who has been just hesitant to bet Eric Cole when everybody else bets him every week. Maybe it's finally time.
It might be finally time. We were there early.
I get a 33 on him.
I think there were 35s domestically. Let me see. Because there was a guy that was nope, you're right. 33 is good. 30 is the best domestically.
Okay. All right. Yeah. When I was pulling stuff up too, I just expected him to be a little more expensive. But Eric Cole, just tee to green, outstanding approach, outstanding around the green, outstanding. Putting's a little rough, but if he's putting everything close, I think he can shoot 20 under. So 33-50. I have 2 bets, and I have another guy. I'm just worried he might be fishing shirtless instead.
Sounds like something Joel Damon would do.
Close. I'll send the picture. I haven't seen him on the model yet, so I'm a little worried. But
okay,
and he hasn't played this course since 2019. But there's one more American I don't hate here. Oh man, I still don't see him. Grayson Siggs not getting my money. CT Pond's a guy I bet. Sometimes.
What can I give my money to Chesson Hadley? It feels really dirty, but look at some of this. He's been really good.
Yeah.
And this is definitely a Chesson Hadley type of event. Really good Bermuda putter. Recent form, as you mentioned too, like just been playing really good golf. Let me see where Chesson Hadley's been as of late. It's again, I would want it to probably be longer. I don't even know what the price is. Back-to-back T7s at Shriners and the Mayakoba. So that's pretty good form. Again, this is a little bit of a harder field. I probably could do better things with my money than burn it on Chesson Hadley. 80 is out there. Don't hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Again, I have no current bets. So Eric Cole, JT Poston are guys that are very much in consideration. Svensson Stings. This is a guy that you and I bet a lot last year, and then we didn't bet him here, and he won. I feel like Svensson owes us money.
Form's good enough. I don't know. And I guess, how do you feel about guys who haven't played since like summer, essentially?
I have a hard time backing you to win.
I know it, but the number on Billy.
Yeah. He's been playing a little bit, hasn't he?
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at the results, it's been, it's been a spell since we had, God, he's over 50 to 1. And he won last year. He had some nice finishes this year. I don't know if I can do it because he hasn't played in the the shit season yet. He hasn't played here since 2019. He had a nice finish in like really 2016. Good. Yeah, he had a good summer. What was his deal? I'm just trying to.
Well, he's been in Europe though. He's been in Europe and he's been.
Yeah. So, but what was the deal at the end of the summer with him? It was like almost made the playoff. What's the first playoff? St. Jude.
Yeah, he had fourth at the Wyndham, so he did right. That was.
Yeah, what was he injured or just did he not make the cut to play?
He was the first so bad for almost the entirety of the season. He was terrible. I mean, he was just alternating
his
cuts.
Must have been down, yeah.
Oh yeah, he was bad. He wasn't even making putts. I mean, he barely gained Yeah, he just had
he missed the
bad
cut at a
strokes
bunch
approach.
of like big money, like API miscut, Players miscut, RBC PGA Championship, Memorial, Travelers Open, and then he had two nice rounds or two nice tournaments at Minneapolis and Wyndham. I don't know, I'm probably out. I'd want like a 60 or 70.
Yeah, but I mean, look at that. Since the 3M, though, again, a lot of it's been in Europe.
It's been good in Europe, though.
It's been really good. I mean, outside of the Irish Open, he's been in the top 20 in what, six of the last 7?
Maybe I'm a Billy Horschel top 10 guy. I don't think I can bet him to win here.
Yeah.
Corey Connors.
Corey Connors is always going to show well in a model with some of this stuff.
If you put approach in it, it's like, oh, Corey Connors is good.
Yeah.
I am not interested in backing him here, but I will have a Corey Connors Brooke Henderson ticket in the PGA LPGA thing. That's a super team.
That's a good team.
I think the only other team that I'd be worried, if I had to price that, it would be the Finau Korda team favorites. But man, the Canadian team should probably be second or third favorite in that one.
Lukey List playing good golf. He's actually played pretty well here in the past. Patton Kazire is a Georgia boy. Adam Schenk has been playing decent golf, but again, we haven't seen Schenk, I don't think, since the BMW, so it's hard to go there. Mackenzie Hughes, this is a spot where Mackenzie Hughes can, again, just roll putts, and I think he's played decent here in the past, so we're getting deep down here a little bit into the middle of the model, but let me search it here. This is just to get a sense of like who towards the top of the board is doing well. This is DraftKings salary. We just don't have enough data, so like Ober's not going to get the credit he probably deserves for some of this stuff. Cam Young not checking boxes this week, comparatively.
I don't think it's a great fit. He's a good golfer, but it's like Ober. Like, hey, you might win because you're good, but you're not going to win because of your skill set. It just doesn't match up as well. Yeah. One guy I do have matches up a little better, big price. You should be able to find a 150. If you want to bomb, a guy I've backed in like, this is more of a matchup guy because it's hard to bet him to win things like this, but he's had a good shit season run. Vince Whaley.
Yeah. Played well last week.
125, 150. You should be able to find a really big price in him. That's maybe a nice top 40 price. If you're scared, go to church and bet that. But I'm probably going to take him as a few bucks on that at a big price. See what I can find for my best Vincent Whaley price. 125 at BetOnline, 100 at Bodog, 125.5 at Chris. I'm going to shop around it. Maybe I can find another big one. But I'm going to have a couple guys like that who are down in that range. I'll hunt it down. I'll have everything. I'll put it out in the Discord and probably the newsletter as well. But Vince Whaley, I can't do Adam Long. That's probably a bridge too far. Chad Ramey, that's another one that's going to be a huge price.
Yeah, makes some birdies here. He pops in the par 4 birdie or better here. Yeah, it looks like
wasn't great in this chunk of the season last year, but good at Fortinet, good at Sanderson, okay at Shriners. Needs to get a lot more tee to green. But Sanderson Farms, he had a nice tournament. One more I had. Oh, Ryan Palmer. No thanks. I thought about it.
Par 4s. Yeah, you can see he's here 69th on the model, so that's nice. But yeah, I mean, that's a little tricky. The approach is not.
It's a tough one to bite.
Yeah.
Ryan Moore. That was the last one I have written down.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Ryan Moore course, right?
Yeah, and you should be able to get a good price on him.
Yeah, I think you can see Ryan Moore actually 39th here in the model. He's the approach stuff's been nice. Par 4 scoring is nice. Don't hate that.
You should be able to find close to 100 to 1 on him. I just found a 95. Taylor Moore is a different person. 125 at BetOnline. So Ryan Moore, 12 to 1.
I think Callum Tarrant and Chesson Hadley are my longer shots that are interesting. I mean, I have to give some credence to Callum Tarrant coming out second in this model. finishing tied second here last year as well. That probably doesn't hurt. He's probably, what can I find on him price wise? And I saw 80s on Chesson Hadley, so that's interesting.
You know what? I'll join you in that. I mean, that's another guy who's just like, hey, you're. I almost said like Hovland light. He's not Hovland light. He's light years away from being Hovland, but he kind of suffers from the same issues where the short game, the around the green game can really drag his shit down.
Yeah, Vic's now elite at that, which is a wild.
What if he takes the Vic path? So Chesson 53. That's it. Jesus.
I see 120, 125.
Take the chalk, Ryan. He is 53 at Chris. Maybe that's a good sign. All right, we're in on him.
Yeah, it's a good sign. Yeah, 125 on Chesson. Oh no, wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at. Hold on. Wait a second. Now I'm gonna have to backtrack my
70. 70 is the best number I can get. So
okay.
All right. Chesson, I'm in on. Chesson, I don't even remember what I said because I haven't actually clicked bet on any of these. I should be writing this down so I bet who I say afterwards. It's hard to do it sometimes in the air. So
no, I'm fine. Calentarian, I'm right. There's 125.
Hadley, we're gonna go Whaley. Who else did I say I'm betting? Eric Cole, I'm in. Shorter price, but I'm in on it. And T-Pen, I'm on a boat. How are we not calling him T-Pen more?
Well, we should be calling him T-Pen.
We should be calling him T-Pen. That's about all I got. No other real takes on this course or this field. Something to watch on Sunday morning waiting for football now that we we're out of London and German games at this point. So I'll be excited to pay attention at least on Saturday and Sunday. I'll be watching the European scoreboard a little. Maybe an Eric Cole. Let's go Eric Cole. And I'm going to have to do this at a different book that allows me to do this sort of thing. Eric Cole, Victor Hovland, 180 to 1. To win.
I get down on that.
All right. I just put a very small bet on that.
I might do it with the
Hovland parlay.
I think Postman might be my top of the board shots.
I like him too. It's just, boy, it's hard to bet JT Poston at like a 30.
Yeah.
It feels bad.
It does.
33
is the best I could find. Yeah.
That's about where I'm at. 32.50 at Chris. So, yeah. All right. Yeah. If you have anything else, guys, you know where to find us on the Twitter. If you're in the Discord, bug us in there. If you are not modeling using our tool yet, honestly, just if you want to try it out, if you're really like, hey, I want to just try this out, I don't know if I want to drop even so yearly subscriptions $200. Like we said, with the Swing 50, we'll give it away for $150. It's kind of the swing season special. It's not going to be $150 during the season. So it is probably the best way to get in. You get all the stuff next year. You get, every major, all the tournaments. It's a year. That's how it works. But if you really want to try it, for just a short period of time, hit me up in the DMs. I can probably get you a promo code, try it for a very small fee for a week or a month or however you want to do it. So hit me up on that. If you want to try it for a year, Swing 50 is a pretty damn good deal. Hit the thumbs up if you watch us on YouTube. Enjoy the golf this week. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the fall. And we'll catch you